will see it in different dimensions. And I hope that the ladies here this morning will be of benefit to you. Amen. Take your time and ask those questions that you couldn't ask about your health, about the people around you, about the things that you think affect your productivity. This is Pep Class. Karibuni sana. I will let them introduce themselves. We'll first start from the far end. Let her say her names, where she works, at what position. Welcome.
Thank you, Cecilia. Good morning, everyone. Praise Jesus. My name is Mary Kabashia. I'm a nurse by profession, and specifically, I'm a pediatric nurse. I've specialized on issues of children until teenagers. I work at Nanyuki and Teaching and Referral Hospital, and I've practiced nursing for the last 23 years.
Wow.
Thank you.
Karibu. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Lucy Muriuki. I'm a health worker, and professionally, I'm a nurse manager, coordinating all the nursing services in Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Services, in Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital solely. I've been nursing for many years. Yes, about 30 years now.
Wow.
Yes.
All right, karibu sana. Karibuni sana. I'm excited that you have stuck in one career and gone all the way up. I was here when 2020 came, and you people were in the middle of it. I want to hear from you. What has made you grow to the positions you have grown into over the years? Yes, Lucy.
Yes, as I've told you earlier, I've been nursing for about 30 years. And when I joined nursing, there are some things that went wrong from the beginning, let me say so. Because as you know, when you are teenagers, you have friends, and at times you become so connected to your friends that you even don't focus what you are doing. So it started when I went for the interview for the nursing career, and I had a very good friend of mine who was my high school friend. And as we were going for the interview, we decided to queue along the line where the interview room was. And there were 2 rooms in the interview room. So we queued along the 2 lines, so we were aligning ourselves together so that we can go chatting until we enter into the interview room. So unfortunately, when we entered in the interview room, there were 2 rooms. One room was for we call it registered nursing, and the other room was for the enrolled nursing. So it happened that I was in the queue for the enrolled nursing, and she was in the queue for the registered nursing. There is nobody who advised us what was going on. We didn't know what nursing is all about. But after we did the interview, that's when I came to realize that one was a certificate course and the other one was a diploma course. And we were invited for we passed the interview, and we got our letters to the admission for the college. And from there, that's when I started feeling that I made the wrong choice, because I had qualified for the diploma, but unfortunately, I did the certificate course. So from there, I decided, and I made up my mind that I have to go up the ladder until the farthest that I could go. And that's when I started doing upgrading course. I did an upgrading course in diploma course. And later on, I decided to do a degree course. In fact, it was a hard choice to make, because by that time, there were not many nurses in Kenya who had done degree courses in nursing. But I made a choice, and I decided I have to go for the degree course. And I made it, and I did my degree course. I think I was the first nurse in Nanyuki to do a degree course in nursing.
Yes, Mary.
Okay, for me, my parents were teachers, and they really forced me to be a teacher, but I didn't like to be a teacher. So I told them I wanted to do nursing, and they were like, "Why are you doing nursing? There's no one who is a nurse in the family." But I told them it is my dream to be a nurse. So when I did the interview, God is good, I was taken, I went through my training, and it became enjoyable. You know, working for human beings, patients, it has been my dream, and even today, I love nursing. I love interacting with people. When I take care of my patients and I find that they improve, that is my joy. So it has really made me push on, loving to know about human beings, loving to know about their experiences, and it really makes me sad when I find them sick. And I must confess that I love nursing. I think even if I retire, I will still do nursing.
Wow. I like
Thank
that.
you.
And you believe that passion you have for the nursing is what has kept you and what makes you know. There are challenges, and I've heard of thousands, and hospitals are the most challenging places to work in being that they are so sensitive. What has kept you when there is a crisis? What is the tenacity? Where do you get your strength from to keep you?
Okay, it's true. In the medical field, not only in nursing, but in the medical field, there are so many challenges. Because most of the people, when they get maybe a health issue outside, their hope mostly is in the hospital, especially those who are not born again. I know for the people who are born again, they put their hope in God. But for the people who are not born again, they usually have their hope in the hospital. And they look for any means that they may be able to reach the hospital. In fact, if you listen to most of the people, they will pray that may the Lord help this person to reach the hospital, because they have all the hope in the hospital. So the challenges are there. But as believers, our faith is in God. Even us, as healthcare providers, sometimes there are so many challenges. You think we have the answer to your problem, but for sure we don't have answers to your problem. Times patients come to us and we have to make a quick prayer and ask God to guide you and to let you know the next step that you are going to make, at least to make this person live. And when they live, we are really, really happy. We celebrate when somebody come up from that critical condition. And when they go, we still mourn. Just like you people mourn when you bring somebody and that person pass. So there are so many challenges in the healthcare profession, but I would say that what keeps us is our faith in God, and also the training that we go through. Because the kind of training we go through, you are trained that you have to accept the situation as it comes. And you are the person there now to intervene, to be the middle person between those people who are the clientele that are coming in and the people that you are, and the healthcare providers. So you have to stand firm, you have to be courageous, you have to encourage these people, you have to console them. So as the challenges come, you handle them one by one. Maybe my colleague can add on to that.
Okay, maybe I would give an example. When we had COVID-19 in 2020, it was actually a very great challenge for us. Being a new disease, and we had not experienced such a disease, even after having practiced for so many years in nursing, it was really scaring for us. A new disease which was scaring to everybody in the whole country. And here we are expected to perform and to do our level best to make these patients improve. It was really challenging for us. And what kept us was your prayers, having faith in God, and even trusting in God in every move that we used to make, because the expectations of the people in the community and the expectations of these patients that were affected was so much. And I would say that when the patients come to the hospital, they always have very high expectations of us, even to leave the hospital when they are healed. And sometimes we are found in a dilemma, because unless you leave some things to God, there is nothing much we can do. So we do our part, and then God does his part. The other challenge we have is that sometimes you deal with very ungrateful patients and people. You try your level best, but they really don't appreciate. You will find even after doing everything that you can do, they will still not appreciate. So what we do our part. If they don't appreciate, we leave it to God, and we keep on pressing on. Thank you.
Wow, all right. I didn't know we were that bad. So I want us to talk. This is Pep Class. And we are here this morning, and we called you here this morning because we want to see the connection between us being productive and our health. we've seen different dimensions of us, and we've been taught a lot. But today we want just to settle here down and talk about our health pertaining our productivity. How important do you think this is?
Okay, it is very, very important to be healthy, because if you are not healthy, you cannot be productive at all. I find it sometimes in our workplace, you get like people, they also get ill, and they get some sick of, they're out of work. And I always see how it affects our services. Because like now, for example, you have people like 5 people who are supposed to report on duty, but 1 person is sick. So how do you expect the 4 of them to work alone? And maybe it's a ward that has even like a number like 50 patients or 60 patients. Some of them who need to go for operations. Others need to be taken for other investigations, maybe X-rays, maybe CT scans and the rest. Maybe they are critically ill patients that need to be nursed on one-on-one basis. And now one has already left because that person is sick. So the productivity is actually affected. You cannot give quality care when you have less staffing. So our health is very key. And I know that if you don't take care of your health, for sure you shall not be productive. Not only the physical sicknesses, even emotional sicknesses, psychological sicknesses. Maybe you are experiencing some stress. It could be at home. You have some maybe issues at home, and when you come at work, you are psychologically affected. You have stress. You cannot work. You cannot be productive. So I think holistically, health is very key, and it is very important to take care of your health.
Yes, she has just started on something. Talk to me about some of the things that you think we neglect and are just important in our health.
Okay, I would specifically deal with our mental health. It is so key in our productivity at our places of work, and it is an area that has really been neglected by many. And I believe that for you to be wealthy, you also have to be healthy. They are inseparable and they go together. So mental health is an area that has been neglected by many. It creeps in slowly without you knowing, and it has really become a challenge to many. So you find yourself stressed up, and maybe you just assume. You don't go for physical checkups. You don't take care of your diet.
No, wait. We're talking about mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I go for physical checkup.
Yes.
Why?
When you go for physical checkup,
I'm tired.
when you go for physical checkup, you will take care of your weight. Maybe you're overweight. Maybe you are underweight.
It contributes to my mental.
Yes, it does. You take your blood pressure, how your heart is beating. So you go there, maybe you have so many problems. You went because you're not sleeping well at night. You thought that it was not an issue, but it is actually stress. So mental health, physical examinations, they're inseparable. They go together. And these are things that we really assume. We don't take care of our diet. You just eat anyhowly. You just take what you want, and it affects you. Because when you overeat, you really oversleep. You overeat, you oversleep, you'll not be able to wake up in the morning at the right time. So you will find yourself going to work late. And hence, it will affect your productivity. So it is very, very important to keep on visiting the hospital, not only when you're sick, but just to get your mental well-being being checked. You can go to a doctor's office, Cecilia, thinking that you had a headache, which has given you a problem for a week. But when you go there, when the doctor looks at you, even the way you will enter his office, even the way you will present yourself, the doctor will be able to know this is not the headache that has brought this person. This person is stressed up. So by taking the history, by interacting with the doctor will be able to pick some stubborn things that are disturbing you. So it is very, very, very important, and more so for the young people, it is very important to visit the hospital, to get your blood pressure checked, to get your physical whatever checked. It is very, very important. please do not neglect this area, because you are the people who are so much stressed up by
They are.
you are so much stressed up by the daily living activities, you know,
Yeah.
and then you end up giving our pastors a hell of time
Yeah.
just because of something that could have been sorted out. Thank you, Cecilia.
You can add to that about mental health.
Yes, on mental health, I always tell people, don't wait until you become a firefighter. Stop the fire before it comes. And in health, we really talk about preventive health. It's more important than curative health. But we find that most of the people wait until they are sick, they come to the hospital, they are treated, or maybe somebody realizes that this person is not sober because maybe they have behavioral changes, the thought process is already affected. You keep on telling somebody to do something and they keep on repeating the same mistake on, and then you wonder what is happening. Because like now, maybe you're at your workplace and I've given you an assignment. Tomorrow I ask you, did you finish this assignment? You cannot even remember which assignment you are given.
Oh.
Your thought process is already affected. So don't be a firefighter. If you recognize or maybe you notice that there is something that is not going on in your life, we always say you can manage stress. But if you wait until it progresses, it turns to depression. Depression is a medical condition now. You need serious medical review. So don't wait until it becomes depression. When it is still at a place that you can handle it, and don't let it go very far. You can share it with a friend, go to a friend, talk it out with your friend, let them listen to you, but don't choose somebody who will just, maybe after you tell them whatever you're telling them, the next minute they are spreading the rumor all over, and they are talking about what you have told them. I always tell people, and especially believers, if somebody come to you and talk to you about their issues, listen. Don't start sharing your problems to them, because they have come because they have problems. Now if they come, they have problems, and now you are also giving them your problems. They will not be sorted out. Mm-hmm. So listen, give them a hearing ear, let them pour out what they have. As believers, you know where we take our problems. You can pray for that person, intercede for that person. If you have your own problems, don't share with that person. Look for another person and share your problems with the other person.
What are some of the signs that I'm going? You've mentioned one. What can I look at myself and say, Cecilia, you're going through a mental crisis here?
Okay. For you to know that you're going through a mental crisis, one of the major symptoms is that you are easily irritated and angry for no reason. Somebody may ask you, as Lucy is saying, did you do this at your place of work? And then even the words that you will answer with will leave this person wondering, what did I do to this person? The other sign is withdrawing from people, avoiding social places, avoiding your friends. Maybe somebody who was very talkative all of a sudden becomes quiet. Somebody who was not talkative, they are people by nature, they are not talkative. Then all of a sudden, they are talking like a parrot. This is somebody who has a problem. Do not condemn this person. Do not take it for granted. This is a person that is undergoing stress. Then somebody all of a sudden does not feed well. Somebody is avoiding meals. Somebody is not eating. You're not talking to people. That is a sign and symptom of stress. And the other major one is headache and not sleeping well at night. We call it medically insomnia, lack of sleep at night. You don't sleep well. You find yourself awake the whole night. That is actually one of the major signs.
Mm-hmm. To add on to that, I always say that maybe you get somebody who is always very neat. All of a sudden, they have neglected themselves. You find the way their dressing could have changed. If it's a lady, she no longer takes care of her hair, which was something that they really valued. She have maybe left the hair on like that. You can easily notice, because there are changes, visible changes that you can tell. leave alone the emotional changes and all other psychological changes that come about. Physically, you can look at somebody who is stressed and you can tell this person is stressed. So you as a colleague, it's always good to help that person. Don't wait until the situation turns to the worst.
How can I help?
Okay, number one, I say that have a hearing ear to that person. Call that person, let that person talk to you if they can open up. If they cannot open up to you, try to look for somebody they can open up to and hook them up to that person. If you find that the situation has gone beyond what you can handle, it's always good to go for professional help. You can take that person for counseling. You can take that person for medical checkup, as my colleague is saying here. But the best thing is that you can manage it at a level that it has not advanced. Like she has said, that you can take some exercises. Maybe you can take a walk. If you feel you are so stressed at your place of work, take a walk around, relax, come back. If it is work that is pressing you so much and it is too much for you, there is always time to say no. You can say, this one I cannot handle. Give yourself a limit of what you can handle. What you cannot handle, don't handle. And what you can handle, let it be limited. That one, I don't say that you be rebellious to your bosses when they tell you to do this. You say, this ones I cannot handle. There's always a way.
And I'm afraid of being fired.
Yes, but there is always a way. Even them, they can see this work is too much for this person. So handle what you can handle. What you cannot handle, just leave it.
Okay, to add on that, I always tell people who are stressed up that it always starts with you as a person. Identify what is stressing you most and think about it, and then consider, is this thing that is making me stressed up, is it really adding value to my life? Is it leaving me better or worse? Then something else that I tell people, love yourself. Love yourself. You should always love yourself. Take time loving yourself. How do you love yourself? Out of the busy schedule that you have, always create time for yourself. I always call it a me time. Write that, me time. Me, and put a star.
We're ignoring it.
Me time is that time of yourself. For the ladies, you can go make your hair, you can go make your nails, you can do some pedicure. If you don't have that money, it's not only pedicure that you can do. You can listen to music, the music that you love, maybe that Christian music that you love. You can also, when you're so tired, take a hot shower. Take time in the bathroom. I mean, scrub yourself.
I like that.
Sing the songs that you love in the bathroom at the top of your voice. That stress will automatically go. Those things seem petty, but they really help you a lot. Again, when you have a problem, you're seeing all over the social media how young people are committing suicide because of love affairs. Actually, that is the key thing that is making the young people to commit suicide. Please do not reach at a point of committing suicide. Share, as Lucy is saying. Look at the person that you're sharing with. Choose your friends wisely. Check your company. Check the company that you're with. There are some companies that do not add value to your life. There are some companies that land you into the ditch. So choose your companies wisely, and if maybe the problem is too much, you can reach to your pastor. You can share the problem with the pastor. If it escalates to depression, seek medical advice. But the key thing is to love yourself. Share your problem. Committing suicide do not help you. You will commit suicide and you will not go to heaven. You will go to hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I would like you to give us tips. Some of the things that I should put in place. Things to do with my health that you think are important to keep my peace of mind.
Okay, number one, most of the stressors that we have in life, and especially the commonest nowadays, it is finance. And I'm happy we are talking to a PEP class. We have been taught so much on how to manage our finances. And because if you don't manage yourself, if you don't plan for yourself, that becomes a very, very difficult thing for you to handle. And especially, let me talk on our medical side in our hospital. You get somebody come to hospital, this is somebody who is working, has been working for a while, but they don't have a plan for their lives. You don't even have a cover for your health. You don't have an NHIF, which only costs 500 shillings. And there you come, you are given investigations which are worth maybe like almost 5,000. Maybe there are some x-rays you have to take, some lab investigation, the treatment, the drugs. And now you are there borrowing everywhere, disturbing everyone, including your parents, and you've been working, telling them to send you money, you are sick, because now you want them to seek sympathy to you because you are sick. I'll always tell people, plan yourself, have a cover. Let your parents have covers. If you are working, cover for them, so that when they call you and you don't have money, you're not going to be stressed, and you're going to be productive at your place of work. So kindly honor that, cover yourself, cover your sisters who are not working if you are able, so that they will not disturb you when they are sick. I think that one will help so much. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What else do you think we should?
Okay, to add on that, always live beyond, live within your standard. Do not live beyond your standards, because it will always land you into problems of stress. Manage what you have. The little money you're earning is more than enough for you if you plan yourself well, and you will always find yourself organized. That is where you will get some money to plan for your medical cover. Always leave some money for NHIF. Nowadays, there are so many medical covers. Some are cheap. Live within your standard. To add on that, eat well. Be careful of what you eat. Do not neglect yourself on matters pertaining your diet. We have found the young people, I'm sorry young people, I'm really on you today. Young people, they really don't have time to cook. So what they do, Cecilia, they get a soda and a cake. And that becomes your daily diet for supper. For young people and even for us who are a bit aged, your body really needs a lot of nutrients and energy for you to be productive and effective at your place of work. So, for example, if you ate a queen cake and soda, do you think tomorrow morning you'll be able to be productive at your place of work? By 10, you are so hungry, you are so irritated, you are so rude, you cannot perform well only because you are hungry. So
and some
please,
of those things contribute to you either being promoted or not.
Yes.
It's amazing how
Yes.
small things
or
count.
maybe you are in a meeting, you are just yawning. And then the one who is presenting wonders, did this person have enough sleep? So the fruits are not very expensive. I know we really don't eat fruits, and if we buy fruits, you have no time for them. Please take care of your diet. Take a lot of water. Water is very rejuvenating. Carry some water to your place of work. If you don't have time to cook, maybe you can wake up early, prepare those things, carry them, and during your break time, you can eat comfortably, isn't it?
Yes.
So diet has really been neglected,
Okay.
Cecilia.
Yeah.
And when they come to see us at the hospital, you have a severe headache. Did you know that dehydration causes headache?
Oh, so they pay to take water.
Yeah. So take a lot of water to avoid that, to avoid that headache, and to avoid you taking paracetamols for nothing. Something else I would advise our people, it is very, very important to check how your blood pressure is functioning in your body. Very important. It can be very low, not only very high. Check your weight. You might be very lean, but when you check your weight, you have issues with cholesterol. Please visit a hospital. Even if you are not sick, just go take your weight. You'll be advised on your sleep patterns. Maybe you are those people who watch movies until 2 a.m. and then you're waking up at 4 a.m., you're going to work. Will you be productive, really? So take care of your sleep pattern, your diet, and also your health. Thank
All
you.
right. Yes. Let Lucy add.
Yes, it's important to take care of your health and especially the feeding patterns. I always tell people that you'll feel lazy to cook and to eat well, and if you don't eat food, very soon you are going to eat the drugs. Very soon you are going to eat the drugs. Cholesterol plugs your blood vessels and they thin. So the pressure goes up. So you might think you are so thin, you are okay, but the kind of food you eat, because it's be high in cholesterol levels, may be causing that harm into your body. And very soon you are going to be one of our clients. We don't want you to be one of our clients. We only want you to be there when you are giving birth or you're bringing forth somebody who is to be beneficial to this society. So take care of yourself, take care of your health, eat well. It's not expensive to cook. I always believe that. Wachana na zile chipu, what do you call them? Chipu mwitu. Yeah.
Chipu mwitu.
Yeah, leave them alone. Those things are not good at all to your health. Because what contributes to that is that you become sick. Your body immunity goes down because of the kind of food you are eating. So even a very common cold will make you not to be productive. Will get you out of work. But if you feed well, your body boosts the immunity. So the soldiers in your body are alert and they are ready for any attack that comes in form of bacteria, viruses, whatever you call it. So take care of your health.
Thank you so much. I want the audience to ask questions for about 10 minutes before we come to an end. Any questions? Allah?
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you for this opportunity. Possibly this might go to the administration aspect, but I think it's also important to ask. Now, we have seen a scenario whereby in most of these healthy institutions, I don't want to say just the government, even in the private, we have seen whereby some nurses and doctors, especially the young generation, who are very rude to the patients, mishandling the patients. Now, I don't know whether we have got a panel that handles those issues, because actually they are very alarming. Number two, we have seen whereby some patients, especially the elderly men, some have not even subdivided their rights and properties. But when they're in hospital, you find that there are family members who comes to make sure that they sign some documents. How can we prevent that when these people, they are in hospital? Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. For sure, I don't want to defend myself, but I sometimes think that the attitude that people comes with provokes what they receive from the hospital, and especially from the public hospital. There has been that old theory that nurses are rude. Nurses are not, they have that kind of mentality that nurses are rude, nurses are, I don't know, they call them all sorts of names. So when you are coming in, you already have that at the back of your mind, and you are looking for every opportunity to prove whatever you already have in your mind, that these people are rude. But I can tell you for sure, nurses are very kind people. They are very, very, very kind. Yes, they are kind people, and until they are provoked, it's very hard to get a nurse who just come in and start shouting or telling you such kind of things. It used to happen some years ago, but with the current training that we go through and the way we continue to encourage them, things have changed. I can attest maybe that to many of you who are here. They can tell that things have changed,
Yeah.
and most of them are very, very, very kind. Concerning the issue of people signing in documents in the hospital, I can tell you that is very, very illegal. Nobody is around when they are not in their sober minds to do such a thing. And I think maybe the lawyers can tell us better whether such kind of a will can be varied. When you are unhealthy or you are sick and you are signing such kind of a will, it is not allowed, and we don't encourage it at all. We always tell people if they get such a scenario, they should always report to the administration, and then from there we handle it in a different way. We do not allow such things to happen in hospitals.
There's a question.
Good morning. I want to appreciate our panelists for the insights that you've given us this morning concerning our health. And especially, I'm very grateful for the long span of experience you guys have in the medical industry, which I think puts you in a position to best answer this question for us. From when you guys joined the industry, those many years ago, how the education system was back then and now for the medical practitioners. What would you say you've seen as a change from the crop of professionals that are being produced from the time when you joined the industry and now? How different are they? Because nowadays the sort of doctors and nurses we get, just like our dad has asked that question, is they are very you feel that you're not very sure when you're seeking
Googling answers. Just say it.
when you're seeking their services. And actually, these are a nurse friend of mine who was sharing with me, and she was telling me even sometimes some of the doctors, how they prescribe to patients. As a nurse, you just have to come because of the experience you have, and you just have to help them make the proper prescriptions, because what they have prescribed will not work very well for the for the patients. So, and also there's this culture, the pill culture, that is really prevalent nowadays. Especially, I think it's coming from the West, where the pharmaceutical industry has been very commercialized, and they are pushing for people to consume drugs so much, such that when you walk to a doctor's office, you're almost sure that you'll not walk out without some pills, and which has not been the case years back, where like Lucy has shared that you focus more on the preventive than the curative side of health. Do you think it's a good trend? And also hearing from things that we are hearing, especially the COVID pandemic that we come through, we are now hearing that it was just a scheme for some people to make money somewhere, a grand scheme. And also, I've worked briefly in the pharmaceutical industry, and some of my colleagues who are medical reps so just would give us stories of how some pharmaceutical industries have big budgets for medical doctors, where they push their products to have them prescribed to patients. What would you say is the outlook in the medical industry? Is it a healthy trend that we are taking? And to what end will this be for our health? Thank you.
4 questions, answer.
Okay. Thank you for that question. It is really a long one, but I'll try to narrow it down, maybe to answer your question. Okay, nowadays, medicine has become so advanced. Remember, we also have advanced technology. So when a patient comes into the hospital, there are a series of things that are done. The doctor will listen to your history. You'll be done those basic things of being taken your temperature, being taken your blood pressure, your weight, just to rule out. Because sometimes when you come with a problem, maybe it is not really the problem that brought you. So nowadays we are very keen. You cannot be prescribed for a drug when some certain investigations have not been done. For example, if you have high blood pressure, you have high temperatures, you have a series of symptoms, you will go to the lab, and the doctor will make a conclusion according to the results. Maybe you'll be taken for an X-ray. Nowadays we have advanced technology like ultrasound, something we call MRI. So many tests are done to you. So by the time the doctor is prescribing the drugs to you, he already has a medical diagnosis, a conclusion where you are suffering from. And when you're given those drugs, you're told clearly, if there is no improvement, please come back so that we may know where the problem is. When you compare nursing or medicine with those years we were really not advanced. So maybe we could do things by what the patient is presenting with. But nowadays you have to undergo those tests to know where your problem is. Sometimes you might be complaining of a stomachache all through. But maybe the problem is not the stomach, because the stomach has so many parts. So maybe the problem was somewhere else that can be picked by an ultrasound. So nowadays we don't do guesswork. We also have a generation that is very digital, let me say stubborn, ignorant, because this generation Googles the signs and see the drugs. And by the virtue of having so many pharmacies, you will just go and purchase a drug without knowing that this drug has side effects. When maybe you purchase these drugs from the pharmacy, the pharmacist will not ask you, why are you buying this? I mean, atafikiria maybe ulitumwa na daktari. So it is very, very important to go to a hospital, because even these medicines that you take, they have advantages and side effects. There's something we call drug interaction. You may be given 2 types of drugs. This one can interact with this one and bring more danger to you. So you must go to the hospital. Don't buy drugs from the pharmacy, from the chemist. Always pass through the right procedure. So I would advise you, do not have innocent ignorance. When you are sick, do not assume. Just go, be investigated, and your problem will be known. And by the end of the day, you'll be happy. I don't know whether I've answered your question. All right.
There's another one. Was COVID made up? Yeah. Are they just propagandas?
I think that one is in the scientific world. We don't know. We cannot tell whether it was made up, or we know that COVID was there.
Yeah.
And we managed, and we controlled it. I can say it's now controlled.
All right. There's a question there.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I wanted to ask about water. You talked about water and dehydration causing headache. Now, sometimes we do tea and other drinks. They are water. All of them are fluids. Do they help? Okay. Number 2, some countries are fighting against antibiotics. And most of the times when we go to the hospitals, we are given antibiotics. So do they have side effects?
Okay, you said about dehydration. It's true, dehydration causes headache. So what is dehydration? It's lack of fluids in your body. So if you take tea, of course tea dehydrates your body, and any other liquid thing, it dehydrates your body. But we don't advise taking too much tea, because you know there are also other effects concerning that. You take a lot of caffeine, it affects your body. Nicotine also affects your body, so it's not good to take those other fruits. It's good to take pure water, because it do the best. It rehydrates your body. And also the concentration in whatever you are taking, maybe it's the soda, the tea, it can cause more dehydration in your body, depending on the electrolytes that are in that fruit that you are taking in. So you might think you are solving the problem, but you are worsening it. Yes. The next section.
Okay, and for the antibiotics, you asked whether they have side effects.
And they also said that the antibiotics were becoming more resistant. I'm wondering about that, yeah.
Okay, one of the problems as to why we have resistance to drugs, let me take an example of when you have, we call them tonsillitis. What are they called in Kikuyu? Yes, yes. So when you're given an antibiotic for the tonsillitis, when you take one first day, second day, the third day you feel, I'm okay, you will not complete the dose. The body will always develop a resistance to that drug, such that if you get tonsillitis again, that antibiotic will not be effective. So when you're given drugs to take, make sure you complete. Do not say that because now today I'm okay, I will not finish. And that issue you are talking about, the issue of the diet, sometimes you don't feed well, so the drugs become so strong for you. Every antibiotic has a side effect. Nowadays we are so advanced in the hospital. When we find that you are not responding to a certain antibiotic, what the doctors do, they will do some tests to see which drug is best for you. That is how advanced we have become. So it will be done, and many antibiotics will be seen, but one of them will be best for you.
Wow.
We call it culture. We call it culture and sensitivity. Those are our medical terms. Don't mind about them. But the key thing, finish your drugs so that you may not develop resistance. And every drug has a side effect. But if it is helping you, do you really concentrate much on the side effects? A question for you. So make sure you finish the drugs. Every drug has a side effect, and the doctor will always tell you what to expect when you are taking a certain drug. And if the side effects become now serious, you can always go to the hospital and the drug will be changed. I don't know whether I've answered your question.
Also, I think why some countries are wiping up their antibiotics is because of the advancement of the technology. When you go to a hospital now, they can be able to do the culture and sensitivity, and then they can also be able to do something called the full hemogram of your blood, and then they can be able to detect exactly what is causing whatever is causing in your body. So it's not necessarily that you need the antibiotic, because it might be a viral, it might be another fungal infection or something like that. So that, I think that's why they are phasing out some of the antibiotics. But actually, if it is a bacterial infection, you seriously need an antibiotic. Thank you.
A question here.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I have two questions. One, with the advanced technology that we have, I still feel like we are still wanting in our medical field, because at times what happens, you find a patient comes to the hospital, is either the diagnosis is too slow or it's wrongly diagnosed. By the time the problem comes to be evident what the patient is suffering from, it has really advanced. I'm saying this from a friend who was suffering from headache, although he comes to the hospital, is given painkillers and such. But after around almost a year, the diagnosis came out as brain cancer. So all what he has been diagnosed before was nullified. And now the cancer was diagnosed at stage 3. So handling it from all that level became a problem. What happens for that to happen despite the advanced technology we have? 2, as nurses and doctors, is there a code of confidentiality that you go through or that you have that you cannot disclose my status to any other person? I attended a forum of people living with HIV/AIDS, and one of the complaints from them was that somebody went to the hospital, was given the report of a patient. The person first had not even accepted herself that she's handling HIV/AIDS. But now you see, another person knows, so the person goes and spreads it in the village. I don't know whether there's a code of confidentiality that guards you as nurses and doctors. Thank you.
Yes, there is a code of ethics that we go through. And that's why every time when you see medical people graduating, they take an oath. So it is there, and if you get a case or two of somebody who have done that, they have gone out of the way. And you can even sue that person for disclosing the status without your authorization. Number 2, you said that a process takes so long before the diagnosis is made. It's true, sometimes you get the process takes longer before the diagnosis is made, simply because maybe of the presenting complaints the patient comes with. Because if you come to me and you tell me I'm just having a headache, and nothing else, I try to dig deeper because I've been in that field, and sometimes it takes so long because before you get the information from that person. So before you dig deeper to get more of the headache, could be that person is telling you she's having a headache, but that person have been breathing for the last 3 months. And they are not telling you that they have been breathing for the last 3 months. They are just telling you it's a headache. So by the time you come to know, it is too long, it takes too long. Sometimes because of our lack of, I would say, resources also causes that. Because maybe I send you for a CT scan somewhere and you don't have the money. So it takes longer for you to bring back the results. And by that, the diagnosis, it takes longer before we get the actual diagnosis. I hope you have answered your question.
Let's get the last question here. Yeah, the cameraman wants to ask a question.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and also for enlightening us on many issues that we didn't know. Okay, there's this scenario that you go to a hospital and the doctor gives you the prescription of some drugs or medicine, and you go to the chemist or to the pharmacist, and maybe the drugs that were prescribed to you, the original drugs, they are not in that chemist, and maybe you are given some other options. You are told this is better, this is good. Do not call it fake. You call it like they are generic and other names. Is this fair, or is it a marketing strategy? Or
should I avoid those?
Should we avoid it? Yeah. We stick to what is prescribed.
Let him also ask. Answer them together.
Okay, thank you so much. Will you kindly tell us the position of herbal medicine as far as our health is also concerned? Yes, I'm saying this because some time back, I think in 2020, there's a doctor from DR Congo who discovered the COVID organics. That was a herbal medicine for curing COVID-19. It was proven to be around 97% effective, but it was ruled out. And the alternative that was the Pfizer and the Sputnik 1 and 2 that were given by the Western nations. So does it mean that our herbal medicine is ineffective, or in what way can we find a way of using both of them for the benefit of our health?
Okay, thank you for those 2 questions. Let me start with the one for the generic drugs. Always make sure that whatever is prescribed on your prescription is what you buy. Even if somebody tries to convince you to get this one, that is just a language of the market. Please take what the doctor has told you. And if you've gone round the pharmacist and the drug is not there, please go back to your doctor. He'll be able to advise you what to do. On the issue of herbal medicine, mostly you really don't know the components of the herbs. For example, if you are told you can take these herbs for high blood pressure, you really cannot tell. But for our drugs, it is always clearly stated that these milligrams, they have undergone tests, they have undergone scientific research, so the doctor is always sure of what he's giving you. And that is why it is not good when you're taking herbal drugs at home. And then you go to the hospital, you hide. Tell the doctor I was taking this, because these are the cases that we normally have. And especially there are some certain communities that takes those herbals and they become dangerous, toxic to their bodies. Some of the herbs are very, very, very dangerous to your liver, to your heart, to your kidneys. They end up poisoning you instead of helping you. So it is always important to go to the hospital. It is better the doctor to tell you, this one has been tested, you can continue with it, and this one has not been tested. So my point is, go to the hospital. That is where you will get all the advice. Usipitie shortcut, itakuletea shida. I don't know whether I've answered.
Is that it? One more word, we come to an end.
It's true. Don't take herbal medicine at home, because herbal medicines are good. Yes, we know our grandfathers used to take them, but you don't know the side effects they cause onto your body. Nowadays, we are getting so many cases of patients who are coming for dialysis. And if you do a follow-up, you get these people are the people who have been using those herbal medicines at home. You damage your kidneys. And when you damage your kidneys, I'm telling you it's not easy and it is not good. When you cannot pass your urine. You have the urine and you cannot pass. There are people who comes for dialysis and for like 2 months, they have not passed urine. So they survive on dialysis alone. So don't let your life go on to that direction. Thank you.
Give them a hand clap. And that brings us to this health and productivity. I want us to take our offerings. Can rise with your offering. I want us to give our offerings this morning. Allah? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Let us make a prayer. Heavenly Father, we worship you, we glorify your name. Thank you, dear Father, even for the wisdom that we've received this morning. I believe that you're going to do something about it in our lives, oh God. We are going to take actions, things that we can do within our means, oh God. We are going to take them even to become better people, even a better representation of you here on earth. In our hands, our sacrifices, Lord, even as we give them, we declare they are blessed. We declare that our lives will never be the same again. And even out of the much that you've given us, we come to say thank you. For in Jesus' mighty name have we prayed and believed. God bless you.